Seldom has so mighty an intellect submitted with such humility to the authority of Jesus Christ.
Now, if you don't follow Christ and you don't pay the price of serving Him, it'll cost you, first of all, the sacrifice of peace of conscience and heart. You will not have peace with God. You will not be reconciled to God. You will be considered an enemy of God. You don't consider yourself an enemy of God, but He considers you an enemy, because you have rejected His love. You've rejected His offer of reconciliation. You've rejected His offer of peace.
Enough about Jesus and say, everything I am or hope to be or ever have been, I owe to Jesus Christ? Or are we ashamed of Christ? Or are we timid about Christ when we have dinner with some people, or perhaps we're in school or in our office? Or are we quiet about Christ? He was proud to stand up and say that he was a Buddhist. Are you proud to stand up and say, I am a Christian? Who is this Jesus? What did Jesus claim when a president gives his inaugural address? Its purpose is to announce to his fellow Americans what he hopes to accomplish during his administration over the next 4 years. And here in Luke, the 4th chapter, Jesus gave his inauguration address.
The false prophets told the people what they wanted to hear, and the people naturally flocked. And when he would start to prophesy the true word of the Lord, the people said, would you get this guy to shut up? Could somebody take care of this guy? We don't want to hear this anymore.
And you see, if you have no fear of God, you have to invent a God. Mercy and truth, iniquity is purged, and by the fear of the Lord, men depart from their evil. From the fear of the Lord.
A reverent fear of God, which brings freedom. And it's because many Christians do not have that reverent fear of God that they don't come into freedom.
Call it what you want, reverential awe. Call it what you want. But there's such a thing as, remember that God is not mocked. There's such a thing as looking at the majesty and holiness of God.
Not a one-sided Christianity.
God is, in your mind and heart, so powerful and so holy and so awesome that you would not dare to run away from Him, but only run to Him. Fearing God is not another requirement. It's the way you do covenant keeping. It's the way you receive Jesus. It's the way you come to Jesus. You come reverently. You come humbly.
The person who willfully embraces wrong. If you don't believe that, then read Acts chapter 5 and see what happened to Ananias and Sapphira. That was New Covenant Christianity, and they died by the hand of God. And folks, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Don't ever lose the fear of God. God is wonderful, loving, just, and kind. But you cannot mock Him. You cannot play games with a holy God. There has to be an honesty in the heart.
What I'm giving to you now is the mercy of God, who so loved you that He put you in a seat in this church this day and said, today, now is the time to make it right. But my calling this morning is a watchman, and I'm telling you now what I believe the Holy Spirit is saying. It's time to get right with God.
I'm come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? What's it going to cost not to follow Christ? How many of us really sit down and count the cost even when we go to get married? That's one of the reasons that